All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I am your host, Cardinellis, with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everybody.
And today we're actually going to talk about Andrew Yang's first CNN appearance. He did the post-debate analysis.
Well, as a official analysis.
You're right.
Analyst.
As an official talking head in the media now, instead of a talking head candidate on the debate stage, I actually thought it was pretty good. And it's gotten mixed reviews, but I think generally it's positive. Also, I think he had some really insightful things to say about what these candidates are staring down the barrel of, especially in terms of fundraising, as we get closer to what he called the wall of Super Tuesday. So anyway, Cody, boom. Tell us what's going on, my man.
Well, as you mentioned, last night after the debate, there was a classic. I counted it, there were 7. It wasn't quite 9 people, but there was a 7-person panel, and Andrew Yang was on it, and they were discussing after the debate. There's people like CNN's Van Jones, CNN's Chris Cuomo, I believe.
Yeah.
And I always get the Cuomos mixed up. Anyway, and it was really fun. It was really insightful. And a lot of people I saw before he appeared last night, when it was announced yesterday that he would be appearing on CNN as an analyst, were not very happy to see it. And a lot of people I saw were like people like myself. I was pretty... I don't know if ambivalent's the word. I thought, it could be pretty good. We'll see. I don't know if I would love to see Andrew Yang have his hour-long slot on CNN for the next 5 years. Like, that wouldn't make me happy, but right now it is. But this was something I had been kind of talking about, which is there's a lot of people I thought who would look at Andrew Yang as a CNN talking head and say, that man looks like a presidential candidate way more than he was on the debate stage. But this is what I thought was cool. Is check this out. Obviously, I could pick a lot of different stuff off Twitter, but I thought these were a couple people that I don't know him too well personally, but I believe have kind of conflicting personal views who had the same conclusion. So this first individual is John Pence, and he said the winner of tonight's Dem debate was CNN's Andrew Yang. Now, John Pence is listed as the senior advisor for real Donald Trump's 2020 presidential campaign, and I believe probably related to Mike Pence in some way. Maybe he isn't. I'll do a little more look into that. I just would think, wow, what a coincidence otherwise. Anyway, what's really interesting about this is I'll take a look at another individual who is a just kind of your average, more left-wing, it seems like, journalist, Hamza Shaban. I think I did a cursory glance, please let me know if I'm wrong, who came away, though, with the same conclusion, that every list of winners of tonight's debate needs to include Andrew Yang, who's now a CNN contributor, and I've been watching him crack himself up on a 7-person panel, and nobody interrupts him, and he has insightful things to say. Again, it's almost like, wow, this Andrew Yang is awesome, which we've seen a lot since he dropped out, but he really did, I think, have a good night last night on the debate stage, on the debate panel, to the point where people with pretty varying political views came to the same conclusion.
Yeah. Well, also, it was really interesting to see the body language and the attitude of the people on the panel drastically shifting.
But hold on, one more thing I want to show you. Now, there's a lot of people I know, and one thing I will say is kind of interesting too. I don't have many tweets pulled up, but I can say I've definitely seen a lot of this. There's a lot of people who were upset to see Andrew Yang go to CNN because they're like, oh, it's like a sellout shill network. And then there's people that are upset to see Andrew Yang go to CNN because they're like, oh, how could you go to the CNN after how the media treated you? It's like very different reasons.
Yeah.
But tell me, I have to admit, reading this was the weirdest thing to me. This is a tweet from Cuomo Primetime's verified Twitter account. It says, quote, I don't think he was coached hard enough. CNN commentator Andrew Yang says Michael Bloomberg. Just so weird to read like that. CNN commentator Andrew Yang. I think we have another tweet here from Van Jones. Same thing. Bloomberg's campaign. It's like, here he is. He's official, man. He is now a part of the the media establishment class. For better or for worse. I mean, he is there, and they loved him. I mean, I could show you more tweets if I'll see if I can pull it up.
Look at how they're quietly, they're just sitting there and listening and smiling, instead of like licking their chops trying to look like they're smart. And the reason why, there's a very interesting moment here.
Want to listen to his clip, I think? It's a good way.
Sure, as long as they don't copyright strike us.
It's a 40-second clip. Check this out. And I think this is part of the reason why a lot of people are wondering, why is Andrew Yang going on CNN? CNN wanted somebody who was able to do this, somebody who was in the race who could tell them insight like this. So check this out.
I wouldn't be surprised if many of the candidates on the stage tonight were losing staff to Bloomberg because he's offering 150 to 200% of what the market rate is essentially at every level.
So it's not just the advertising. I think people think about him. They're talking about he's buying up all the ads. He's buying up all the talent in the Democratic Party.
Yep.
I've heard that that's actually causing some problems people trying to run for state senate and stuff like that. They
It's
can't
really hurting
actually
down ballot candidates.
can't
Is
even.
what I've heard.
But they have to want to work for him, right? Or is the money enough where they're just going to work for him just so that they get through the cycle?
If you're a political operative, I mean, you
Everybody's
work
like
for a lot of
enough.
candidates, yeah.
That's fine. If you're political, you work for a lot of
Yeah,
candidates,
I mean,
but
you're a
just-
mercenary.
Well, I mean,
It's
but
like-
they don't. I mean, I think I don't want to get too much into philosophy here of this particular job, but it's like, dude, you hire these people because they know the rules, they've been there, they have experience in it before, not because they believe in your campaign. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like I don't hire a lawyer necessarily because he believes I'm innocent or he believes they're guilty. It's because I think he can do his job well because he's done cases before. It's the same idea. It's one of those weird moments where that happens, right? Where you're just kind of like, I get it. You probably might not even necessarily want me to be president, but you do want the campaign you worked on to win. So that's why you'll work for me, I guess. But I just think it was really cool. He was able to drop in some insight like that. I mean, he's literally able to say, I can say firsthand source, my staff has been poached by Michael Bloomberg. Like, he can bring that to thing. I thought that was really cool to see. Also, there's a Mediaite article here because he dropped another little tidbit of information, which this was something that has been floating around for a while. Kind of thing that was like in one article here or there. And obviously it wasn't what CNN was talking about till Andrew Yang got in the debate stage, but this is really interesting. So they mentioned there, newly minted CNN contributor Andrew Yang. Again, isn't that just so bizarre?
Yeah.
I will
Newly
admit,
minted.
It's still, I don't know if I bristle to read it, but I still just CNN contributor Andrew Yang. Man, it just feels, it was what? The far distant past of 3 weeks ago, he was presidential candidate Andrew Yang. Anyway, he claims that Bloomberg is actively asking major Dem donors to sit out primary. Let's go to the quote here. He says, quote, people don't have any money. You're shaking your head. That was Gloria Borger pointed out. And then Yang said, that's a great question. Could Elizabeth Warren or Joe Biden or Amy Klobuchar or Pete Buttigieg have a breakout night that leads to tens of millions of dollars? He then dropped a bombshell explaining that major Democratic donors are frankly getting phone calls from Mike Bloomberg right now saying, sit this one out. I got this. He goes on to mention, if you're a donor, it's a pretty appealing pitch to not donate. And it's funny. Dana Bash actually says, like, excuse me, can you say that again? And he explains, Michael Bloomberg is calling people and saying, I'll fund the entire election. Don't donate to anyone, which is... Michael Bloomberg, man. We can do another video talking more about him and his debate performance, but what a guy. What a pitch. Because think about it. He isn't saying, hey, don't donate to my competition. He's saying don't donate to anyone. But he's not accepting donations anyway. So he really is just saying don't donate to my competition. Pretty funny stuff, but I thought that was cool. That was kind of a couple of the cool things. That was a couple of the pros. However, again, I do want to bring up that I've seen a lot of people say that I saw a lot of people who were like, look, Andrew Yang suspending his campaign, Andrew Yang doing this, that, and that. This was too far. A lot of people said this was the end. Andrew Yang appearing on CNN. Like, there's some people who don't read this and kind of say, I don't like it, but I get over it. There's some people who say, Andrew, newly minted CNN contributor, Andrew, are you kidding me? And like I said, I don't feel that way as much, but I do think it's worth bringing up. Not everybody I don't want to say in the Yang gang, but just not everybody who had previously supported Andrew Yang for whatever reason was really happy to see this move.
Yeah, I mean, there's nobody that hates the media more than me. Actually, there probably are, but there's very few people that hate the media more than me. But you can't look at the media as the fourth branch of government, and we need a good media. So as much as, I hate that it's the corporate media and so on and so forth, I'm hoping that just more honorable men like Andrew Yang start participating in the media so we stop getting these just activist actors where, their job is propagandizing instead of just saying what it is. So, I mean, I like that Andrew Yang is there because now I have some hope that some of these CNN panels won't be just complete and total sellouts. They'll only be out of 10 sellouts. And then if we can get another Andrew Yang-like character, and then maybe another one, then maybe CNN will go back to being a reputable source of news. You know what I'm saying? I want evolution over revolution. And hopefully he helps CNN evolve into a more respectable news outlet. So,
I mean, I don't necessarily.
I mean, some people are hating the fact that he just joined the corporate
That's
media.
what I mean. I mean, like I said, I don't necessarily feel the way all the way. I do I see where they're coming because there is a sense of like Andrew Yang was the candidate kind of fighting against the media, trying to point out, look, he wasn't. I mean, I will say, there definitely was the sense he definitely wasn't Tulsi Gabbard in his approach, where Tulsi Tulsi is I guess also a unique individual. Very few people have the character to just be like, I don't care. Despite Hillary Clinton and resign as vice chair of DNC. Interesting move. Anyway, my larger point is I do see a little bit of like wow, you're just going to CNN now, like you're just in the media. I do think it does give him a platform to give his real thoughts and opinions closer to on other campaigns without coming across as sour grapes. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, I'm paid to be an analyst. I'm just explaining why I don't think Elizabeth Warren will have enough money to keep going. And it doesn't seem like he's being kind of like petty or taking snipes. I don't think he is. He's like literally just giving his analysis because he's being paid and asked to do so. I think it's kind of cool for him, but I wanted to just kind of bring up one more. Also, again, just to highlight the kind of people who like seeing Andrew Yang last night again, and that was we have a little video here from the Breakfast Club. You know, Charlamagne the God and the crew saying, "Shout out to Andrew Yang for joining CNN as a political commentator." So there is a lot of people talking about it. I just thought it was funny. There was a big trend last night of people. Last night was the first time, oh my God, in years, I've just sat down and watched CNN for a couple hours, like through commercial breaks and everything. Because I wanted to see Andrew Yang. I thought he was great. I thought he actually really brought that same character and charisma I've always been very interested in to television. That was really cool. I mean, because I think I'd like to see him do more, as much as I wouldn't be happy to see him get an hour-long time slot.
Yeah, it's
CNN,
like
I would also probably watch, you know what I mean? Like, I want to see him do more than that. But because I like Andrew Yang, the person, a lot, I would probably watch his 90-minute show or, you know, I give him a full 3 hours, right? I don't care. I would probably watch it.
You think he could carry a 90-minute show?
Yeah. Depending.
You think so?
He might have to early on fall back on the 9-person panel and you just sit at the top and you're the head of the snake. But I think over time he could. Maybe not like full on like Maddow Carlson, those kind of types where you just sit there and stare down the main camera. But
I think you have to be too much of a BSer to be able to carry a 90-minute show.
Also, 90 minutes is.
I mean, to carry a 90-minute show, you have to be full of crap.
But
let's be honest, and he's not full of crap enough.
CNN's
that is out of love and respect for Andrew Yang that I think.
Ever watch the CNN shows? They'll bring on 4 people, have them sit there for 45 minutes and talk with. You don't have to do much on these shows. That's honestly.
Yeah, I was about to say it really
depends. That's one of my main
on...
gripes with these shows is when you bring 5 people on and make them fight for airtime. When you have 9 minutes till the next commercial break, people just say dumb things to interject. It's kind of like the person in the game shows they hit their buzzer too fast. I got buzzed down. What's the answer? Asparagus, it's like they don't know. They're just like, I need to get in, and then once you get in, okay.
Yeah, there's definitely a difference between like a Tucker Carlson program or a Rachel Maddow program that's carried by a very strong personality for the first solid 30 minutes before they go to maybe 1 or 2 interviews versus some of these shows. You made a great comment in our pre-show yesterday that you think that's the end of cable news. Is just the excessive amount of guests and the soundbitey nature of everything. And that's probably why Tucker Carlson's the #1 program on his channel and why
Rachel Maddow's the
#1 program on her channel, because you have these personalities that people can focus in on and hone in on without this cacophony of idiots all trying to make one soundbite when none of us know them. We don't know who they are. So
it's a bunch of people that are just desperate to get on TV for 90 seconds so somebody can take a phone picture of their television screen of them being on whatever, and that could be their Twitter avatar for the next 40 years. It'll be like a dating profile. It's like, what network even is that? Like, oh yeah, that was MSNBC 15 years ago. It's just I was on once and I got to say something weird and I will always remember that. But not to get too much into ragging on that kind of thing. I just think it's kind of part of the problem of having 24-hour news. You don't have talent to do everything. Again, though, the cool thing is Andrew Yang isn't being asked to do something like that. They're bringing him in, asking him to speak a little bit here and there as a commentator, and I think it's a pretty nice... Because I was trying to think, what else should Andrew Yang do for the next... I do think it signals a little bit to me that maybe there's no immediate VP thing in the works.
Oh yeah,
because if there was,
he wouldn't have said yes to this if there were.
Why would you need to boost your public image if you're about to get tabbed as a VP? I don't think anything imminent. Maybe there's a few people that expressed interest in a cabinet, but it definitely looks like he's a guy that through the remainder of the election cycle pretty much has some time to spare. And I'm trying to think, what else would he do? I mean, I guess he can go on the campaign trail for some pro-UBI down like probably House people, congressional seats, and try to get a little coalition going to run. But I'm trying, like, realistically, what else is there for Anthony to be doing over the next few months aside from chilling and saying nothing or chilling and giving his opinion on CNN? I don't really see what the other lane is. Do you?
No. Well, we see what other lanes there are, what other options there are, but I don't think they're necessarily as good. You know what I'm saying? Or provide as much visibility. And whether we like it or not, we have a celebrity culture now. Okay. And so you need to be able to maintain that status of celebrity if you're going to get back in the game. Fortunately, he's a rational celebrity. And I think oftentimes we associate the word celebrity with insanity, but no, there's plenty of celebrity. The Dalai Lama is a celebrity, and he's not perceived as insane or irrational. Except for by progressives who've already started writing hit pieces on him, which is really funny. A hit piece on the Dalai Lama is really funny, So anyway, let us know what you guys think in the comments. If you think I'm crazy or if you think Cody's crazy, tell us who you think's crazy. Also, make sure if you can, join the channel. It's a really inexpensive way to make sure that we can keep these videos coming to you for free. And if you can't do that, please make sure that you like, you share, you subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. We do a lot of, we live tweet during the debates or during different activities. Yesterday, I'm sure you guys saw that Cody was live tweeting while I was on the live stream covering the debate. And also make sure you follow us on Instagram at Problem Solver Politics. This is Problem Solver Politics. See you guys in the next video. Wu-Tang!